Woo-wee! It's a pretty tough job sometimes, dudes. I'm telling you. Being of a nature that is, say, bright and clear and vivid and empty, to then deal with the churnings of this world, with the deep-rooted, pain-based perspectives of this collective, and feeling so much fucking love and compassion for it, and yet, therefore, exploring all these different angles to get to know all these different points of view, so that we can rise to a point of view that includes all these points of view, whose point of view then is the transcendent point of view, is the wiser point of view, it's the more helpful point of view. And of course, what's more helpful depends on where someone is at and what they resonate with, so I respect that. However, the past few days, I've been churning deeply through those perspectives. And there's no real way, I haven't found that there's a real way to churn through all those perspectives as intensely as I do, really seeing it from every point of view that I can imagine and that people are coming at it from, and not take on, at least to some extent, the vibratory nature that corresponds with those perspectives, with those points of view. This means that I frequently surrender myself to a thought experiment, if you will, where I allow my vibration to be, for lack of a better word, distorted or weighed down or made heavy and dense again, for the purpose of experiencing what that is like from these different points of view, and to make sure that I'm not missing anything as much as I can. I want to avoid missing anything crucial. So, but what happens is, you know, your whole vibratory state of being is like lowered, and it's like altered, and it's like, and then I'm experiencing this state of being veiled, and this state of just denseness, just fucking denseness, man. Heavy, fucking trudging, quicksand kind of stuff. And then I realized, not that that's a new realization, but you experience over and over again, when every time you do an experiment like this, as a shepherd, as a consciousness that wants to make a difference, then you will experience or realize there's people that live this way every day. No wonder that they give me, for example, but anything out there that represents greater lightness and quicker approaches to freedom, no wonder they give so much resistance to that. Because if this is all you know, Jesus Christ, I really feel for the people of this planet. And then of course this is taken to be belittling by those that are in those bubbles, but you know, we can't just like lower ourselves to those bubbles in order to like be worthy of having a dialogue with these people or being received by these entities. So the balance, I think, is to share what we know can help them, understanding that they also have their wisdom, they also have their points of views, they are at where they're at, but still knowing that there is a better fucking approach. There are better approaches. Did you know that? I mean, I've gone through spirituality for the past 20 years intensely every single fucking day, like a machine, sifting through all those perspectives, all those teachings, all those methods, all those meditations, contemplations, tools, viewpoints, philosophies, belief systems, and all with the purpose of distilling what works the best. And that's, in some cases, to some extent, it is quite objective. Now, there is also a very subjective part to this, which is, what are you ready to receive? However, the more you are ready to receive, the more you'll see that there are certain tools that are simply more direct in nature. So it's not that these tools are not objectively of a more helpful nature ultimately. It's simply that they're perhaps not more helpful or more available at the moment based on where that entity is subjectively placing themselves in that moment. To what extent are they disempowering themselves? To what extent do they believe there's an outside world? To what extent they believe that someone else or something else or some words online can determine their worth, their freedom, etc., etc. So just sharing with you guys that I dove into the I dove into the cesspool that is the human collective consciousness again, and I do this every fucking day. But I did it more intensely in the last 5 days or so, really just allowing myself to churn through and make sure, like double check, triple check, doubt myself, as an experiment to see, is there anything that I'm missing? Seeing it from all these points of view. And I can tell you that the result is always greater confidence, probably to many people's annoyance, but it's an investigative process. It's the result of a thorough process, of a sincere process, believe it or not. And so the result is clear, it's stable, it is unmovable, it is confident, not because it's a biased opinion, but precisely because everything has been investigated around it, and this is the natural transcendent conclusion of those realities, of those belief systems, of those perspectives, of different kinds of solutions. So I'm not saying that what I'm saying is always the best thing for everyone, but I'm saying it's very powerful, and it's up there in terms of the most direct paths, the most direct teachings, the most direct solutions for those that are ready for it and willing to embody these principles and surrender some of their pain points at their own liberation, for their own liberation. So anyway, just again sharing that deep diving, because I'm sure some of you guys do this, whether consciously or unconsciously. I'm sure some of you guys have the shepherding capacity already in place, and your minds are already clearer than most people around you, meaning they're not like scattered all day long. They're not like thinking about things all day long. It's very direct, it's very focused, it's very single-minded, it's very expansive. It's very much connected to the deeper levels of consciousness beyond the thinking mind and beyond the personal ego. And so there's a transparency to your mind, and it becomes more crystal-like. It's this disease, it's this virus in humanity that we can't really open up to other perspectives. We can't really open up to the transcendent perspective either, because we're so biased and partial and afraid and scared and hurt in our little point of view. So we create this whole world, we create this whole paradigm of being right and righteous, and it's posting itself usually as empowerment or like standing up for ourselves. But man, this is warfare. This is what we've been doing for millennia. And even light workers are doing it all over the place, you know? And, oh well, fuck it. I love you all. And to each their own. Take what resonates, leave what does not. And as Bruce Lee would say, add what is uniquely your own. I love you very much. See you soon. Or not.